Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rumble here from Bristol Motor Speedway. It is race number 1 of the OutCast Racing League playoffs here. The round of 16 is about to get underway as these drivers get loaded into the sim, each and every one of them looking for the win here this evening. We'll take a look at our playoff drivers here as you get a good look here at all the drivers that are a part of this championship battle. You see the points, you see the wins, where drivers get those extra points. A huge congratulations to Chris Muse picking up the regular season championship, gaining himself the extra 15 points for being that regular season champion. That goes a long ways as he gained that extra 15 points plus the 1 win from last week, which also gives him an extra 5. So he's sitting at the top of the charts here with an extra 21 point cushion between himself and a lot of drivers that are now even at 2,000 points each. You see all those drivers back there: Al Reed, Anthony Garland, Casey Gross, Wayne Garland, Mike Killingbeck, Lancaster, James Garland, Johnny Thunders, Kurt Sponsler, all now even at 2,000 points, and they got 2 races to try to work themselves into that top 12 positions. So you need to have a good run here at Bristol. You need to have a good run next week as well to advance yourself to the next round of our playoffs here in this one. And having those extra points like Muse, Durant, Combs have over the rest of the field definitely give you that little bit of an extra cushion that can help you try to squeeze on by and continue to work yourself closer and closer to the front of the field and into possibly the championship rounds. As we'll get ready to rock and roll here, 200 laps up on the board as drivers are done their qualifying session. They're going to get loaded in down pit side and they will get ready to be set loose here on the rest of the field. As starting on the pole in the Napa Auto Parts number 9 ride, that is Brandon Puffenbarger. To his outside in the OutCast Racing League, the Syndicate JDRF number 81, it's Anthony Garland. Starting in position number 3 is supposed to be the 99 of Chris Muse, in that to his outside will be the 51 of David Duran Jr. Both those drivers still waiting to load into the server. Starting in the 5th spot, it is the Lawrence Tech 70 ride of Mike Killingbeck. To his outside, it's the 15, the Elite Sim Racing ride of Cameron Combs. CJ Jeffries in the Schenko Custom Diecast JRC Race Cars number 19 will start there in position number 7 with Colt Manich. To his outside in that Williamsburg Contracting Schenko Custom Diecast All Seeing Motorsports 00. The 9 position belongs to the Midwest Motorsports number 20. That's the Hammerheads Gaming number 20 ride of Corey Crowell, and he's got the 84 of Wayne Garland, who's going to be starting to his outside as he's got the Captain Morgan number 84 right here, rounding out our top 10. Then we see the number 31 of Adolfo Castillo right there behind him, Al Reed, Darrell Whitford Jr., Lance Brantlinger, Kurt Sponsler, Chad Lancaster, Johnny Thunders, Casey Gross, Gary Wright, and Joshua Neal bringing up the rear of the field. 20 drivers ready to rock and roll as Anne-Marie Davis says, "Hey, Pool Boy, I like your face, Pool Boy." She likes your face. I hope you know that. I hope you know that. I hope you know that, James. I hope you know that. She likes your face. Is James even in here? I don't even see James in here, unfortunately. I see Anthony Garland. I see Wayne Garland. But no James Garland in the field. What in the world? We're missing James Garland, one of our playoff drivers. Unfortunately not in attendance, as CJ Jeffries with that share. Joshua Neal with the thumbs up on the broadcast. Shenko Custom Designs coming in with that heart reaction and the share on the broadcast. Anne-Marie Davis coming in with that heart reaction as well. We're going to get ready to rock and roll. We're going to get ready to rumble here in this one. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you know what to do. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button as we are quickly green flag racing here from Bristol Motor Speedway. Poffenbarger trying to hang on to the top spot, but a good run down the back straightaway for Anthony Garland. Is Garland going to use the outside lane to his advantage, and he'll lead lap number 1. So Anthony Garland out in front looking to clear the 9 ride. There you go. He's going to jump up and take this top spot away from Brandon Poffenbarger. Chris Muse right there in position number 3 with David Duran Jr. in the GoDaddy 51 ride. A little bit of Danica Patrick throwback paint scheme there for the GoDaddy 51 machine on the Speedway. Cameron Combs sporting the same paint scheme as Al Reed here. He's got the Elite Sim Racing Mobile 1 number 15 ride looking fresh out there on the Speedway. CJ Jeffries there in 6th. Colton Manich there in 7th as we see a little bit of contact. And we're going to see our first caution flag. The Lugnuts 21 ride. The Lugnuts Racing Machine. Heavy damage there for Darrell Whitford. Heavy damage as well for Mike Killingbeck. You see that left or right front not even turning at all. That tire is absolutely catawampus out there on the Speedway, and he is going to have to come down for some serious work on that 70 machine. Wayne Garland already down pit side, getting that car serviced. Is our first caution flag here this evening going to fly from Bristol Motor Speedway. We'll take a look and see what happened. It's a little bit of almost 4 wide here. Unfortunately, 3 wide just does not work. Oh, Wayne just gets clipped there. Going into corner number 3, heavy contact here for a lot of good drivers. We also saw the 31 here, the Poultry Shack machine, getting some pretty heavy damage in this, as well as Al Reed, unfortunately, right in the middle, and just a little bit of neck code right there. Things were getting tight. Drivers were right there together. You see the 31 coming up, just unfortunately over the nose of the 3 rider Al Reed into the 70 rider Mike Killingbeck, which sends Killingbeck down the racetrack. And as he spins around, he's going to clip that 84 of Wayne Garland hard up into the outside fence there for Mr. Garland. Heavy damage for Al Reed, the 70 ride as well. A lot of these drivers getting a ton of damage and a bunch of tore up race cars. See Kurt Sponsler, he's going to go head on with the 31 ride as well. The 16 of Gary Wright hard into the side of Wayne Garland, and a few more drivers to get collected in that hard wreck down here in corner number 3. That's going to really mix things up here on the leaderboard, so we'll see if these drivers will get ready to roll back out onto the Speedway, if they can get their cars serviced quick enough and get back out there without losing too many laps. So we do see Killingbeck back into one piece. He's rolling out there again. The 20 ride of Corey Crowell, he's down pit side. Wayne Garland still down there getting work done to his car. Unfortunately, looks like Wayne may be down there for an extended period of time. Johnny Thunders also off the Speedway here for Johnny Thunders. I'm not sure what happened to Johnny out there on the Speedway, but unfortunately for Mr. Thunders, looks like he may have some connection issues and unfortunately no longer in this race as well. So a tough break there for Johnny Thunders, as well as we'll get ready to get these drivers back to rolling, back to green flag action as Derek Capp, my boy Derek, coming in, showing the love with that thumbs up on the broadcast. How are you, D-Rock, coming in, showing the love here in this one. So we'll get ready to roll here Anthony Garland out in front. He did not want to see that caution flag. He wanted to see this kind of go clean and green. He was starting to open up a bit of a lead and starting to stretch himself out from the rest of the field, and he's looking to try to do some more of that here on this restart as Brandon Puffenbarger will get another attempt to work underneath of that 81 ride. But Anthony Garland with that control, he's able to keep himself out in front here possibly. He's able to get that jump down through the Geico restart zone to maybe put himself back to the lead and clearing that number 9 ride. James says car failed inspection. Oh no, the car failed inspection. What'd you show up with? What in the world? He's trying to pull some Hendrick Motorsports BS, you know, he's got some extra parts on that car or something, you know, he's out there cheating. James, what in the world are you doing, brother? We miss you out here, brother. We want to see you out there as we see Anthony Garland with a great run here. Exactly what I figured he would do. Use that extra little bit of a jump that he can get over the rest of the field to jump up and clear the 9 ride of Brandon Puffenbarger as quickly as possible. Now Puffenbarger trying to hold on and hold off David Duran Jr. in the 19 ride of CJ Jeffries as they do get out for position number 3 now. Anthony Garland trying to stretch out a little bit of a lead here as that 81 at the front of the pack. Here comes Puffenbarger trying to get that outside lane a little bit figured out. The Napa Auto Parts ride starting to find that groove up on the high side, starting to eat into that little bit of a lead that Anthony Garland had, and we may see a race at the front of the field here as Anthony in a little bent out of shape there through 1 and 2. He's going to head down here into quarter number 3, and he's going to be looking to try to make some moves here to maybe work himself a little farther away between himself and Puffenbarger, but Puffenbarger doing a great job hanging right there with him. CJ Jeffries now up into position number 3. David Duran Jr. there in 4th. Chris Muse there in position number 5 on the Speedway. Cool managed back there in 6th. Al Reed there in 7th. Lance Brantlinger up into 8th. Casey Gross there in 9th. And Adolfo Castillo in that Poultry Shack 31 ride there in the 10th spot. The Land NC NSB 02 ride, a proud sponsor here of the OutCast Racing League, there in the 11th position. That is Chad Lancaster. He's trying to hold off Mike Killingback. Joshua Neal back there in 13th. Kurt Bosler in the NOS Energy number 49. He's there in the 14th position. Gary Wright there in the 15th spot. Daryl Whitford there in position number 16 with Corey Crowell out there at 17th. And then we see, unfortunately, Wayne Garland a couple laps down. Cameron Combs now a few laps down as well. I'm not sure what might have happened to the 15 rider Cameron Combs as he's down laps. And Johnny Thunders, unfortunately, off the speedway. Brandon Puffenbarger, though, able to make the move to get around Anthony Garland. So move Anthony Garland in the 81 back to position number 2 as the 9 ride of Brandon Puffenbarger out in front. We get a new race leader here at Bristol Motor Speedway as Puffenbarger jumps up, takes that top spot away from Garland. Garland trying to hunt him back down, but trying to stay out of the Hornets' nest that's right there behind him. CJ Jeffries there in that 3rd spot now as he's got David Duran Jr. and Chris Muse right there with him, our top 5. All right there within striking distance of our race leader. You can throw Colton Manich and Al Reed into that picture as Al Reed has that little bit of front end damage as James says, pulling fenders, laugh out loud. Pulling fenders, what in the world? No wonder he didn't pass inspection. Good on iRacing to catch that. Make sure you keep that car back there behind the wall. As Curtis Sponsler Sr. says, good luck to both of my sons in the playoffs, Johnny Thunders and Kurt Sponsler Jr. Well, Kurt's doing a pretty good job out there on the speedway. He unfortunately got tied up in that first wreck, but he's still on the lead lap. The 49 ride looking fresh. Unfortunately, for Johnny Thunders unfortunately looked like he lost connection for quite a little while here, and he is unfortunately multiple laps down now in that 60 ride. I'm not sure exactly how many laps down he is, but he was off the speedway for a good 10-15 laps, and unfortunately I don't think we'll have enough caution flags or waiver rounds or anything else for him to gain that track position back up. He would need maybe a bunch of caution flags where it could take other drivers out of the race You see, yeah, Wayne Garland down 4 spots, Combs down 4 laps as well, and Johnny Thunder's down 20 laps on the Speedway. That is tough to come back from, unfortunately. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you guys have been enjoying the racing action so far here this evening, make sure you hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button, as here comes our race leader onto the back bumper of the 49 at Kurt Sponsler. And unfortunately, Kurt is going to go a lap down here himself. He is now into that free pass position, so if a caution flag was to fly, he would want that to be right now, as he's in that free pass position, able to get the lucky dog and work himself back onto the lead lap. But he's got to hope that it comes out quickly, because quickly enough, our race leader rolling into some more lap traffic here, not too far in front of him. We see Daryl Whitford, we see Gary Wright, Chad Lancaster, all right there as well. So not too far away from our race leader. Some more drivers at risk of going a lap down, so he's going to have to try to hope for a caution flag, or hope that he can kind of gain a little bit of pace and maybe pass those guys as our race leader passes him. Unfortunately, he is dropping like a rock here, already back quite a ways from our race leader, and that's a big gap. So tough break for Kurt Sponsler. You see that right front damage too on that 49 ride. Looked like he got up into the outside fence, so a tough break there for Kurt Sponsler, as the NOS Energy Elite Sim Racing Shenko Custom Diecast 49 ride, the PeaceMaker Gaming Machine, that heavy damage on that car. Unfortunately, it is just not working out well for him right now on the speedways. Brandon Puffenbarger laying down to some crazy good lap times here. Still the fastest car on the speedway for this 9 ride. So Puffenbarger, he's found a different gear here in the Get Up and Go Napa Auto Parts number 9 machine, as Puffenbarger leads the way here last time around the speedway. He was quickest by about almost 0.2 of a second, so he's gaining a lot of time here on the speedway over the rest of the field here. Continues to run consistent 15.0 second laps, where other drivers are running more in the 15.4s, 15.2s, 15.3s. We have seen Colton Manage start to pick up the pace here a little bit, as well as Manage up into position number 3 now. So the Williamsburg Contracting, All Seeing Motorsports, Shenko Custom Diecast, and number 00 of Colton Manage now finds himself up into position number 2 as he makes the move around Anthony Garland. So new driver into that second spot on the speedway. And we might have a battle at the front of the field here before long, as Colton Manage finding another gear and laying some good lap times down. Unfortunately, still just not quite as quick as our race leader, but he's definitely not as slow as some of the other drivers back there behind him now. So moving forward here as Brandon Puffenbarger continues to lead the way. We will have a stage break on lap number 50. That could be the saving grace for a lot of these drivers. See the 16 of Gary Wright now going to go a lap down as well. He's now into that free pass position. So Gary Wright down a lap now in the mighty fine 16 ride. And Daryl Whitford, the next driver at risk of going a lap down, is the Lugnuts Racing 21 ride. Got a couple good competitors right there in front of him. Chad Lancaster, Rodolfo Castillo, they're all right there. You can throw a blanket over him as our race leader. You know, he's not too far behind him, only a couple car lengths here as he's trying to hunt them down, trying to figure out maybe if he can jump up there and put those guys a lap down as well. That may trap them back a lap for quite a little while. So we'll have to wait and see if he can get to those drivers in, put them a lap down or not, as Puffenbarger out in front by 2.7 seconds between himself and the 00 of Colton Manage. Chris Muse up into third now as the 99 ride there in third. Contact though! Anthony Garland going around, caution flag on the speedway. Anthony Garland, Al Reed, Joshua Neal, a bunch of other drivers collected there in corner number 1, as we will take a look at it and see what happened here. It's, oh man, already contact down the front straightaway here, as I'm not sure what might have happened as these two were battling. It's a good run for Al Reed trying to get to the inside of the 81. I think the 81 didn't realize that the 49 was going to be into the wall right in front of him, and then gets into it himself, then bounces off that wall down into Al Reed right over his front nose. Is the ZZX Digital Elite Sim Racing Ride and Anthony Garland both go down into the inside fence. They wash back up the speedway, and then this is where things get difficult here as you see Casey Gross nowhere to go. Johnny Thunders getting collected in that one as well. Heavy damage for all four of those drivers, as that will bring out our caution flag. And we'll take a look, and we can jump right on board here with the 77 riders. He's going to get a great look at this coming through the racetrack, coming down through the front straightaway. Sees the contact, sees them spinning here, trying to go around them. Unfortunately, they both wash up right into his lap, and fortunately, tons of damage there for Casey Gross, Al Reed, Anthony Garland. And we see some more contact there as well, as we believe that was the 82 of Joshua Neal getting checked up here. Neal is checked up, trying to avoid those drivers on the outside, and we're going to see the 84 Wayne Garland come in there with a whole head of steam. Unfortunately, just pile drives the back end of the 82 ride. Pretty heavy contact. The rear of the 82 and heavy contact for the front end of Wayne Garland there as well. So, bunch of tough hits right there. A lot of drivers running into issues as we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing. I do believe this will bring us to the end of our stage. So the end of stage number 1 is going to be displayed, as we'll get a quick word in here from our sponsors over at Land and Sea NSB. Oh no, audio, mic check, there we go. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. As a big wreck right there for the number 60 ride of Johnny Thunders as Johnny gets up into the outside fence there. Daryl Whitford getting into that with him, as well as just, you see that contact right in front of him. Just really nowhere to go for Johnny Thunders, as you see Casey Gross in the 84 come together. They make contact, then here comes the 21, gets into the back of the 77, then up into the 60 ride of Johnny Thunders, and that puts the Elite Sim Racing ride upside down, and it's a tough spot to be for Johnny Thunders, already having a rough day, and that's just going to make it that much rougher here. As out in front, we saw the 19 rider CJ Jeffries jump up and take that race lead away. We have seen a couple green flag or caution flag pit stops now as Brandon Puffenbarger finds himself back in 7th. Chris Muse there in 8th. Lance Brantlinger back there in 9th. Gary Wright rolling back out onto the speedway. He is our top 10, still on the lead lap here for the MF machine, as Gary Wright there in 10th, but fortunately for Chad Lancaster, he is a lap down, but he may be in the free pass position. We'll have to wait and see if he gets the wave around back onto the lead lap or not, as Adolfo Castillo, Al Reed, all laps down. Corey Crowell down a couple laps here as well. Casey Gross, Kurt Sponsler, all running into issues here throughout the evening. We saw Daryl Whitford now take the 21 ride off the speedway. Cameron Combs, multiple laps down in the 15 ride, and Johnny Thunders, a lot of laps down back there in the 20th position. But out in front, CJ Jeffries looking to keep on rolling here, is my boy Kevin Timmy coming in, showing the love as well, coming in, smashing that thumbs up on the broadcast, and coming in, showing the love over there on the Twitch channel as well, coming in, showing the big love, coming in with the resubscribe as well. Huge shout out to my boy Bubba coming in with that resubscribe over on the Twitch channel. 12 months of being a subscriber here on PeaceMaker Gaming. Absolutely insane, brother. Absolutely insane, coming in with the 12 months of being a subscriber. As we go back to Green Flag Racing here on PeaceMaker Gaming, we see these drivers duke it out non-stop. As perfect Mike Jack, we muted ourselves there during the commercial break, and I think I must have forgot to unmute myself, but we are good to go. As CJ Jeffries leads the way here in the OutCast Racing League's playoff race number 1 from the last great Coliseum. It's Bristol Motor Speedway. CJ Jeffries leads the way as David Durant Jr., the GoDaddy 51 ride, there in 2nd. Anthony Garland back up inside the top 3 here as he finds himself there in the 3rd position, has the Shenko Custom Diecast. Williamsburg Contracting 00, Cole Manich there behind him in position number 4. Joshua Neal up inside the top 5 now for the 82 as he sees Lance Brantlinger and Chris Muse duking it out back there behind him, as the caution flag will be displayed here once again. We believe, yes, caution flag going to come back out. Looks like Adolfo Castillo going to run into some more issues here in that 31 ride. As see the car already a little sideways coming out of the corner. Just looks like this car gets very, very loose. At 31, the black and yellow ride. Then you see him getting squirrely there, unfortunately, down into the inside fence. Wayne Garland's going to end up getting a piece of him right there, and Kurt Sponsler going to get in there and get some contact with that 31 ride as well. So tough break right there. This car just breaks loose out of corner number 4, and unfortunately he's just hanging on, trying to keep that car out of trouble, and fortunately puts himself into some more trouble here as that's off that inside wall, then up the racetrack, and nowhere to go there as Wayne Garland and Kurt Sponsler both crash into him. Let's see if we can play this back a little bit. See if we can jump on board here with the helmet cam of this number 31 ride and get a look, see what he's doing here with his hands on the speedway. He sends it into the corner, he's turning, and then just comes out of the corner, and yeah, the car just cracks loose, and fortunately pretty heavy damage, not only for him, but for the 84 and the 49 ride as they both slam into him as well, and heavy damage for both drivers. A tough break there. We will get them stacked up, racked up, and ready to go back to Green Flag Racing. CJ Jeffries leads the way here with David Duran Jr. there in second. Anthony Garland there in third with Colton Manich. Joshua Neal, our top 5 on the Speedway. Chris Muse back there in 6th, and Lance Brantlinger, Mike Killingbeck, Brandon Puffenbarger, Chad Lancaster now our top 10. And see Johnny Thunders get loose there. I'm not sure what happened to Johnny during that, but he's been around right in front of that 0-2 ride as Lancaster was able to get that lucky dog back onto the lead lap here for him, as Gary Wright back in the 11th position. Al Reed back in 12th. He's looking for another quick caution flag to maybe get that lucky dog himself and back onto the lead lap as Rory Crowell, Adolfo Castillo, Casey Gross, Cameron Combs, Wayne Garland, Kurt Sponsler, Darrell Whitford, and Johnny Thunders round out our field here on the evening. CJ Jeffries, though, going to get ready for another restart as the Schenko Custom Diecast JRC Race Cars number 19 ride leads the way here from the beautiful Bristol Motor Speedway as we roll closer and closer to our halfway marker. That'll be the end of stage number 2 here at our first playoff race. So still more playoff points on the line. Those extra points, the stage points, to help try to work yourself into the round of 12 here after this next couple races. You want to make sure that if you're in those playoffs, that you can work yourself to the front of the field here, have a good day, and put yourself in position to maybe get into the next round of the playoffs. Bubba says, what a ride. Absolutely, what a ride. And says, at the beach, crappy connection. Oh, brother, it's all good, my boy. It's all good. Have fun at the beach. What in the world? You're at the beach watching us go racing. As Kevin says, let's go. 12 is a good number. Laugh out loud. Go 99. He says, go 99. Cheering on Mr. Muse out there on the Speedway. As out in front, CJ Jeffries sees that green flag fly. Here, once again, from Bristol Motor Speedway. The 00 Colt Manich going to quickly jump up into position number 2 as he slides in front of the GoDaddy 51 of David Duran Jr. So David Duran Jr. back into third as Anthony Garland there in fourth. Mike Killingbeck up inside the top 5. Now we saw Killingbeck get tied up in a few early wrecks here and unfortunately had some pretty heavy damage for the 70 ride. We saw Anthony Garland run into issues in this race as well. Both drivers rebounding nicely, have themselves up inside the top 5 as Lance Brantlinger right there behind him in that 6th position. Joshua Neal back there in 7th, a race leader for a lot of this race. The 9 rider Brandon Puffenbarger back in 8th as Christopher Muse there in position number 9. Chad Lancaster back in the 10th position, trying to work himself back up through the field here as Gary Wright, our last driver on the lead lap here in that number 16 machine. The MF, the Mighty Fine Ride, trying to hang on and keep himself on the lead lap here and trying to work himself a little bit closer to the front of the field as now Corey Crowell finds himself in that free pass position as he's worked himself around Al Reed as there's 2 big races on the track right now, not only at the front of the field but right here between the 3 ride and this 20 ride as they're trying to work themselves into that free pass position, trying to make sure that if there's another caution flag, they can work themselves back onto the lead lap. As out in front, CJ Jeffries leads the way, only a couple car lengths between himself and Colton Manich as Manich trying to jump up and take this top spot away from that 19 machine. As CJ Jeffries going to click another lap off here. We're getting closer and closer to our halfway marker in the end of stage number 2. Almost the end of stage number 2 as, yeah, definitely 12 is a good number, Kevin. 12 is a good number, my boy. Coming in with the 12 months of being a subscriber over on the Twitch channel. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you're tuning in and you have a Twitch account and you have an Amazon Prime account, you can subscribe for free over on the Twitch channel. Absolutely free. All you gotta do is sign into your Twitch account, follow us over on our Twitch channel, and then hit the subscribe button and subscribe with Amazon. Amazon will give you a free subscription to our channel every single month that you have Amazon Prime. You can subscribe to PeaceMaker Gaming for absolutely free over on our Twitch channel And you can find us over there at PeaceMaker Game and over on Twitch as well. You can see all the live action that you're watching right now, whether you're over on Facebook or on YouTube. You can watch the same action on the Twitch channels. You see this battle at the front of the field continuing to rage on here as the 0-0 rider, Colton Manage, looking to jump up and take this race lead away, and he is going to get it done. That time by the start-finish line, the 0-0 of Colton Manage now leads these drivers here at Bristol Motor Speedway, but CJ Jeffries says, I'm not done yet. Slides back in front of the 0-0 ride and back to the front of the field. David Durant Jr. right there as well, as he has closed the gap on our front two drivers as this stage quickly coming to a close here. CJ Jeffries looking to pick up all those valuable stage points and the extra playoff point that goes with the stage win. So Jeffries trying to get it done here in this one. It's Colton Manage, David Durant Jr. right there behind him. A bit of a gap back to our fourth place driver, Mike Killingbeck, and then another gap back to our fifth place driver, Anthony Garland. Brandon Puffenbarger a little bit ways back there as our number 9 driver here, the 6th place car on the Speedway. Brandon Puffenbarger having a good run, trying to work himself back up through the field here after a bit of a different pitch strategy than everybody else at him. Unfortunately, down pit side, lost a ton of track position. You see Kurt Sponsler right there in front of him. Unfortunately, Kurt is multiple laps down here as here comes Chad Lancaster. Looking underneath that 9 ride, maybe trying to figure out if he can jump up and make the move around that 9 machine that earned himself an extra stage point. Chris Muse, our leader here in the points, coming into playoff race number 1 this evening. Muse back there in the 8th position. The 99 ride rolls out there on the Speedway, just keeping himself out of trouble throughout the evening, trying to keep that car nice and clean right down to the end of this race, and then maybe we'll see him find another gear and try to work himself into the picture as Yuri Wright back there in the 9th spot. Joshua Neal in position number 10 now, as look out as Adolfo Castillo. Unfortunately getting loose again there at a quarter number 4, gets dinged to the inside wall. Heavy damage here for that 31 ride, but he's going to keep on rolling as does not go a lap down. It's Joshua Neal trying to stay on the lead lap right now. As that 19 is CJ Jeffries right there behind him is Corey Crowell. The next driver 1 lap down. Would love to see this number 82 stay on the lead lap. Unfortunately, CJ Jeffries just too good here on the evening. He is going to cruise around the 82 ride and put Joshua Neal a lap down. So only 9 drivers left on the lead lap up to this point. And right now, if things are to stay this way, if the 82 ride can hang on to this position, he could potentially put himself into that free pass spot and work himself back on the lead lap with the lucky dog here at the end of this stage. With a 0-2 at Chad Lancaster, he's got a little bit of front end damage. The Land NC NSB 0-2 ride of Lancaster currently in the 9th position. He sees our race leaders right there behind him. The 19 of CJ Jeffries reeling him in a quick hurry here. And as the laps are clicking down, they're getting closer and closer to the end of this stage at lap number 100. We will see this stage come to an end as Joseph Barry coming in with the love here, the like on the stream. Richard Mock coming in with that like and the share as well. Coming and show the big love over there on the Facebook channel is the 19. Down and out at quarter number 4, going to click off another lap. So 97 of 200 up onto the board here. Only a couple more laps left in this stage. So the 19 ride reeling into the 0-2 at Chad Lancaster. If Lancaster goes a lap down, that will keep Joshua Neal, Corey Crowell back there in a lap down themselves here. So definitely going to be interesting. The 49 ride right there. Oh, there you go. There's the move. The 0-2, unfortunately, Chad Lancaster gets kind of held up here as the 49 ride trying to hang on to it here. Kurt Sponsler, unfortunately, checks that 0-2 ride up that allows our race leaders to go right on by him. And now he is the first driver 1 lap down. So Lancaster in that free pass position has a big gap back to Joshua Neal, because that's exactly what he's probably hoping for here, is another opportunity to get that wave around and back onto the lead lap. It's CJ Jeffries down across the line here. Going to click off another lap as Colton Manich right there with them. And then we see David Duran Jr. back there in third. There is the caution flag, and stage number 2 is going to come to a close as CJ Jeffries going to pick up stage win number 2 here on the evening. Colton Manich there in that second spot. David Duran Jr., Mike Killingbeck, Anthony Garland, Chris Muse, Brandon Puffenbarger, Gary Wright, Chad Lancaster, and Joshua Neal are top 10 on the Speedway. Unfortunately for Neal, he's going to get trapped a lap down here as Chad Lancaster is going to get that free pass, that extra wave around here. The 0-2 will get back onto the lead lap as drivers heading down pit side here. Little bit of strategy moves here halfway through this race, headed down pit side, possibly the final pit stop of the evening for these drivers during the caution flag as stage number 2 going to come to a close. We'll see how they all come out of pit lane and get ready to go back to green flag racing. Taylor, hopefully I'm saying that right, Taylor coming in, dropping that follow over on the Twitch channel, coming in, showing the love there, smashing that follow button, becoming a brand new member of the PeaceMaker family over on the purple site as Clayton Nielsen coming in as well. Clayton Nelson coming in, smashing that thumbs up on the broadcast as well. I appreciate you, Clayton, coming in, showing the big love. Joseph Berry coming in, showing the love as well as we'll get ready to rock and roll. We'll get ready to go back to green flag racing here as looks like Mike Killingbeck going to be the first driver off of pit lane here. So Killingbeck, first driver off pit lane. He will be the control car here on the restart. CJ Jeffries in second. Colton Manich, David Duran Jr., Anthony Garland, our top 5 when we go back to green flag racing. As we'll get a quick word in here from our highlight video here, our promo video for OutCast Racing League. Alrighty, as we're going to get ready to go back to green flag racing here from Bristol Motor Speedway. Out in front, the 70 ride of Mike Killingbeck is going to lead us down through the Geico restart zone as we go back to green flag racing. A little bit of a stack up there on the bottom side of the racetrack as a 0-0 did not fire right there. Colton Manich sleeping on the restart, and that really mixed things up as Anthony Garland, Chris Muse, Chad Lancaster all had to get onto the binders back there behind him to avoid any additional contact. They lose quite a few spots and a lot of track position as quickly the 70 ride of Mike Killingbeck sliding backwards here. The 70 ride trying to play that strategy, gave himself that restart, and unfortunately for the 70 ride, he is dropping like a rock. Now back into position number 7 on the Speedway is David Duran Jr. Gonna jump out in front. He's gonna lead a lap as we get another new race leader here at Bristol Motor Speedway. CJ Jeffries right there in second, trying to figure out a way to get back around this 51 ride. And Brandon Puffenbarger there in position number 3. Puffenbarger finding himself a way back to the front of the field, as well as he's looking to see if he can get back to the race lead here this evening. Colton Manich there in 4th, and Anthony Garland up inside the top 5 now as the 81 ride with that little bit of front end damage there from the restart. Still looking strong out there on the racetrack as he's got the 3 right now. Al Reed back there behind him. Unfortunately for Al, he is multiple laps down on the Speedway for the ZZX Digital number 3 ride. Gary Wright is our 6th place driver with Chris Muse back there in 7th. Mike Gillingbeck now into the 8th position as Chad Lancaster there in the 9th spot. Corey Crowell inside the top 10 here in the 20 ride as Joshua Neal back in 11th. Unfortunately for Corey Crowell and Joshua Neal, they are both 1 lap down on the Speedway. Casey Gross a lap down as well back there in 12th. Al Reed a couple laps down there in the 13th position. And Adolfo Castillo down a couple laps as well as Cameron Combs, Kurt Sponsler, Lance Brantlinger in the 8th ride. I'm not sure what happened to Lance. We didn't see him get tied up in any wrecks or anything, but Lance is multiple laps down here as well. Johnny Thunder's down a bunch of laps as Wayne Garland back up there on the Speedway down a lot of laps, and Darrell Whitford, unfortunately, he's already taken his 21 ride off the Speedway. As out in front, it is the 51 ride of David Durant Jr., who leads the way here in this one. But here comes Brandon Puffenbarger looking down to his inside. Brandon Puffenbarger and David Durant Jr. duking it out here for our race lead as they're going to roll around with ease on that 0-2 ride of Chad Lancaster. Unfortunately for Lancaster, he is going to go another lap down here, so he's going to go a lap down once again. Just got that free pass, and unfortunately now the first car 1 lap down again as Corey Crowell is going to try to hunt him down in a quick hurry, trying to keep himself in that free pass position. Knows he needs to jump up and get around that 0-2 ride to put himself into that lucky dog position on the Speedway. There's the move down door to door there, so if a caution flag were to fly, the 20 ride of Corey Crowell now into that free pass spot on the Speedway. It's everyone trying to work themselves around that 0-2 ride as he's got heavy right front damage. Unfortunately, that is hindering this car a lot. He is having a tough time trying to get this car turned. He really has to check up and is killing a ton of momentum here for that 0-2 ride as he continues to lose spots on the Speedway. David Durant Jr., though, able to hang on and hold off the charge from Brandon Puffenbarger. As Puffenbarger there in 2nd, CJ Jeffries there in 3rd, Colton Manch in 4th, Anthony Garland there in 5th, as we're going to jump into a very quick PeaceMaker Gaming Crank It Up. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite driver as we crank it up here on PeaceMaker Gaming. Never mind, the PeaceMaker Gaming Crank It Up caution flag is going to fly here. PeaceMaker Crank It Up caution flag is going to be displayed as the yellow flag coming out here right as we were trying to go do our Crank It Up. We see the 16 ride unfortunately going to run into issues here. It's the MF, the orange and white ride there on the outside lane out of quarter number 4. He's going to get some contact there. Adolfo Castillo going to get into him here. Unfortunately, that just gets the 16 ride sideways. The 31 ride going around there as well. Heavy contact for both drivers into the inside fence here as big damage. Unfortunately, going to really hurt both drivers as they come together again down on the bottom side of the racetrack. Luckily enough, the 16 able to keep on rolling. More heavy damage, though, for Adolfo Castillo. He's had multiple issues on the evening as well. Jump on board with the 16 ride of Gary Wright and see what he can see is just nothing he can do. He's just on for the ride at that point as contact from the left rear comes into him and nothing he can do as we are going to see some more green or caution flag pit stops here. Brandon Puffenbarger coming down pit side. So isn't CJ Jeffries. Colton Manich, Chris Muse, Gary Wright, all down pit road here. We did see David Durant Jr. stay out on the racetrack, did not come down pit side. Neither did Anthony Garland or Mike Gillingbeck. So pit strategies here for some of these drivers in this race. But we do see Gillingbeck this time going to head down pit side. So Here goes Mike Killingbeck. Missed it on the first try, so he'll come back down pit side this time. But even Durant Jr. and Anthony Garland, 1 and 2 on the Speedway, they have yet to come down pit side here. So looks like they are going to be with old equipment, possibly old tires, less fuel, and possibly in a different strategy than what the other drivers are here on the evening. As do that 3-ride, looking to try to maybe get the wave around. Was hoping for the 51 and the 81 to come down pit side, and without them coming down pit side, it's going to keep him back there and still multiple laps down here. So a tough break for 51 and the 81 on the Speedways. I do believe with all these drivers stacked up, racked up, and ready to go back to green flag racing here in just a few more moments. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you haven't already, make sure you guys do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button. It's my boy Anthony, Mr. Carf, coming in, says, what's good, brother? What's good? Anthony, you know what's good, my dude. Racing, that's what's good, homie. Always good when we get some racing here on the channel. As we'll get ready to go back to battle. We'll get ready to go back to green flag racing here on the evening, as we've seen some pretty great racing here all evening long. These guys have been putting on a heck of a show for us. And we're slowly but surely closing in on the checkered flag of this race. Already at lap 128 of 200. That means that we got about 72 laps left of racing here on the evening. Now, whether or not that's all green flag racing or if we see more caution flags here on the night, that is unknown to this point. I'm assuming we're going to see at least a couple more yellow flags here before the end of this race. So strategy plays, pit strategy, everything can come into play here for these drivers as we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing. And as we do, we will jump into a crank it up here. So crank up the volume, cheer on your favorite driver as we go back to green flag racing. See if we can jump right on board here with, let's jump on board with Colton Manich here on the restart. He's starting on the inside of row number 2. See what Colton Manich can do here on this restart as we get ready to go back to green flag racing. We get ready to crank it up here on PeaceMaker Gaming. So crank up that volume, cheer on your favorite driver as we crank it up here on PeaceMaker Gaming. Contacting the caution flag back on the Speedway here. Our crank it up session going to be getting cut short there just ever so slightly as a little bit of contact. We were riding on board with the 82 of Joshua Neal. Looks like him and the 19 ride. CJ Jeffries probably going to get tied together right here. Let's see if we can get another look at this one as these two drivers going to get together out of corner number 2. And unfortunately, yeah, it just looks like it's very loose there. Out of the corner, the 84 ride also getting very loose there as well. Let's take another look. The 82 just breaks traction here. Out of the corner, comes down into the 19 ride of CJ Jeffries. Nowhere for him to go. He's just hanging on to it as Lance Brandlinger getting into the back end of the 82. You see the 84 hard down into the inside fence. Nowhere to go here for The 60 ride as he drives right in there. That's Johnny Thunder's getting some pretty heavy contact there himself as CJ Jeffries pinned up against the outside fence. Hopefully not too much damage there for CJ as he's going to try to get that car pointed back in the right direction as the 77 ride gets checked up, making sure he doesn't get any additional contact there himself as we get another look at it, see how quickly this one happens as things happen here at Bristol in quick occurrence. You did see that head-on collision there. Quite a bit of damage actually for Casey Gross and that number 19 of CJ Jeffries as Casey drives into it. This is actually the second time I do believe we've seen Casey Gross have nowhere to go and drive head-on into a collision here on the evening. We'll jump on board here with the 77 and see what he sees as he goes the 19 ride around right in front of him. He's on the binder, trying to get checked up, and enough, that wasn't awfully wasn't awful. That wasn't a lot of contact between the two of them, so not too much damage on those drivers. So front end contact, not too bad for the 77 or the 19 as we'll get ready to stack them up, rack them up, and get ready to go back to green flag racing as we did see David Durant Jr. come down pit side that time. So the 51 ride down pit road where we see Corey Crowell now back onto the speedway. We do see Brandon Puffenbarger. Not sure what just happened to Puffenbarger, but he's taken his car off the racetrack here. Brandon Puffenbarger was having himself a great day here at the speedway, and not sure what just happened here as Brandon Puffenbarger rolling on the speedway here. He was running in about the fifth spot on the speedway. You see outside fence, no damage for the Napa Auto Parts number 9 ride, and then just drives down to the inside here and gets stopped on the racetrack. The 82 gets into the back of him here, but then he takes his car off the racetrack down pit side. So I'm not sure what happened to Brandon Puffenbarger, but one of our tough competitors here on the evening now out of the picture. So very tough break, a very weird circumstance there for that 9 ride. We will get ready to go back to green flag racing here in this one. Cole Manch, Anthony Garland, Mike Killingbeck, Chris Muse, David Durant Jr., CJ Jeffries, Gary Wright, and Corey Crowell. Our top 8 on the lead lap here on the evening. Ready to go back to battle here. As the pace car still has the lights on, we'll get ready to go back to our Crank It Up session, our PeaceMaker Gaming Crank It Up, as we'll continue on with that Crank It Up here in just a couple more moments as the lights are now off the official iRacing pace car. Get ready to set these drivers back loose. We'll get ready to go back to green flag racing here on the evening. As man, we've seen some amazing racing here all evening long. As Landon, I'm off, coming in showing the love. What's good, Landon? Landon coming in showing the love, smashing that thumbs up here on the broadcast. How are you, brother? Coming in showing the big love here this evening as door to door, down through corner number 3 and out at corner number 4. We'll see these drivers go back to green flag racing. The 00 Gold Manage, the control car here, he will fire first. As we go back to green flag racing here at Bristol Motor Speedway, we'll continue with our PeaceMaker Gaming Crank It Up. 0-2 and Chad Lancaster in the 49 make contact right there as Lancaster got in there a little bit late, makes some contact with the 49 riders. We will take a look back and see what brings out the caution flag here once again, as it looks like Kurt Sponsler are going to run into some issues here in that 49 ride. I'm not sure if a little bit of help here as him and the 16 come together. They're on the high side of the racetrack. Unfortunately, it turns the 49 ride around and pointed in the wrong direction. That will bring our caution flag out, and as he's trying to get turned back around, Mike Killingbeck going to get a little piece of him there. He's going to try to stay right there, trying to get that car figured out where he can go on the speedway, and then here comes the 0-2, going to try to squeeze up on the high side. Unfortunately, there was nowhere to go there on the high side groove, and pretty hard contact there with the outside fence and the 49 right. A tough break there for Kurt Sponsler Jr. as we're going to get ready to go back to green flag racing, but we do see drivers headed down pit side here, so possibly more green or caution flag pit stops, but we do see David Durant Jr., Anthony Garland, Corey Crowell staying out here once again as Colton Manich, Mike Killingbeck, Chris Muse, CJ Jeffries, Gary Wright all coming down pit side here. So more pit strategy here on the evening as Joshua Neal going to stay out on the track. He's going to roll around those drivers. Interesting pit strategies here. Some pretty interesting calls on the speedway on drivers coming in pit side, drivers staying out on the racetrack. Different strategies unfolding here on the evening as, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you haven't already, and you guys would love to, make sure you guys hit the like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button as we're going to get ready to go back to green flag racing here in just a few more moments after our quick commercial break with our sponsors over at Landon C and SP. As we go back to green flag racing here from Bristol Motor Speedway. Quickly, the 00 and the 81 at the front of the field looking to try to hunt down the 51 of David Durant Jr. As a little bit of pit strategy coming into play here for these drivers as a quick caution flag as cautions, precautions here at the last great Coliseum. As we do see Cameron Combs, Al Reed, Casey Gross all getting tied together here to bring the caution flag back out on the speedway. We'll take a look back and see what happened here. Is fortunately for Al Reed, looks like he's going to go around Cameron Combs, his teammate, right there behind him. But it's the 31 right. Looks like Adolfo Castillo going to get a piece of him right there. Then they all kind of get stacked up together. Lancaster going to get a piece of that one. The 77 and Casey Gross have to get onto the binders there to avoid it. We did see 15 as well getting a little bit of damage there as trying to avoid his teammate, and the car's getting checked up. Unfortunately, he goes sideways there in the middle of the racetrack. As quick caution flag here on the speedway as we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing once again. As out in front, the GoDaddy 51 of David Durant Jr. leads the way. Anthony Garland there in second. Colton Manich in third. Corey Crowell, Mike Killingbeck, Christopher Muse, CJ Jeffries, Gary Wright, and Joshua Neal are top 9 on the Speedway, all on the lead lap. Chad Lancaster, the first driver, 1 lap down. I'm not sure if he's going to get that lucky dog wave around here or not, but we do see Adolfo Castillo just on the outside of the top 10 here in that 31 ride. Casey Gross, Al Reed, Cameron Combs, Kurt Sponsler. Our top 15 on the Speedway with Lance Brantlinger, Johnny Thunders, Brandon Puffenbarger, Wayne Garland, Darrell Whitford Jr. all rounding out the field here, as unfortunately for Brandon Puffenbarger and Darrell Whitford, they have both left the racing surface here. They both have their cars back behind pit wall and off of the Speedway here, as tough break for the 9 ride. Puffenbarger led laps early in this race. Looked very, very good. Looked very strong here throughout the evening, and now finds himself down behind the wall and definitely not the spot that he would have wished to be, as we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing in just a few more moments. Out in front, it is the 51 of David Duran Jr. as Duran leads the way. Anthony Garland there in second. 1 and 2 down through the Geico restart zone. We are back to green flag racing here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Another great launch there for David Duran Jr. as he's looking to run away with this one, looking to try to pick up win number 1 in our first round of the OutCast Racing League's playoffs. If he can pick up the win, he can punch his ticket straight on through to the next round of these playoffs. As you see, Corey Crowell making some late race pushes here. The Midwest Motorsports ride up into position number 2 here. We saw Corey Crowell lap down not too long ago, was able to get some waiver rounds and back onto the lead lap. He's been hanging out just outside the top 10 here for a lot of the evening, but late in this race, he's found another gear and finds the outside fence right there. This 20 ride up into position number 2. Colton Manich right there in third. He's been up inside the top 5 here pretty much all day long, and he's got that 0-0 once again, looking to try to work himself to the front of the field. That's Mike Killenbeck back there behind him in 4th. CJ Jeffries there in position number 5. You see Anthony Garland and Chris Muse, our top 7 on the Speedway. Gary Wright there in position number 8, and our last driver on the lead lap is the 82 ride of Joshua Neal. So Neal there in the 9th position, the last driver on the lead lap on the Speedway. Chad Lancaster in 10th. He is the first car to leave 1 lap down on the racetrack. Would need a quick caution flag to work himself back onto the lead lap here, but he's getting hunted down in a quick hurry from our race leader, David Duran Jr., who's now out to a 1.2 second lead between himself and Corey Crowell. It's Crowell there in position number 2. Trying to hold on and hold off Colton Manich here as Mike Killenbeck trying to hold off the 19 ride of CJ Jeffries. Chris Muse now up into position number 6 as Anthony Garland slides backwards here quite a bit here. A bunch of front end damage for that 81 ride. Finds himself now back in the 9th position as out in front, David Duran Jr. looking to continue to stretch his lead out more and more with only 23 more laps left to go in this race. He's looking to try to pick up the win here this evening in that GoDaddy number 51 machine. Some great racing action here. These drivers putting on a heck of a show for us and putting on a great race all evening long. A lot of drivers run into issues, a lot of drivers making contact, going around, a lot of drivers getting into some pretty heavy hits. We saw Johnny Thunders upside down in this race. We saw a lot of drivers have the evening that they were not hoping for, but you still see them out there duking it out, continuing to battle. See Johnny Thunders back multiple laps down here in the 17th position. Still rolling out there on the speedway. We do see the Ice-T Captain Morgan's ride of Wayne Garland down pit side has definitely not had the run he was hoping for this evening. Even Lance Brandlinger, I do believe Lance stayed pretty clean throughout this race. Unfortunately, though, the Budweiser ride, I do believe, lost connection for quite a while. Had to come down pit side, and he ended up being a lot of laps down by the time he came back onto the speedway. So tough right there for Lance. Some tough hits from the 49 ride of Kurt Sponsler. Cameron Gomes, I do believe, had connection issues as well, and he fell back a lot of laps early in this race due to connection loss as well. So a lot of drivers running into that issue here. We saw Adolfo Castillo have a bunch of heavy hits here in this race. Same with Casey Gross. Alan Reed's gotten tied up in a couple of them, but for the most part, it's been fairly decent out there on the speedway, and just unfortunately wrong place at the wrong time here in this race for the three machine. Chad Lancaster's been struggling with the handling of that 0-2 ride for a lot of laps here. He's been lucky enough to get a couple of those free passes, a couple times getting back onto the lead lap here. And unfortunately, though, that struggle for the Landon CNSP ride continues to build here for him. And now we see Anthony Garland running into some very tough handling here in the 81 on the racetrack, as well as he continues to slide a little bit farther back here, and unfortunately he's now into the 9th position and at risk of going a lap down here in about half a lap, as our race leader now being the 00, Colton Manich has managed, able to manage his way back to the front of the field. David Durant Jr. starting to fall off now. Maybe push that car a little bit too hot and heavy early in this run. And now starting to feel that Price as now he's going to get up into the outside fence, lose more time. Here comes the 70 ride of Mike Killingback. Going to work himself around the GoDaddy 51 ride. And here comes Chris Muse into the picture as well. This is why Chris Muse was our regular season points champion here. As late in these races, that 99 ride comes to life and somehow or another finds himself away to the front of the field. As Colton Manich, though, leads the way, the 00, the Schenko Custom Diecast Williamsburg Contracting 00, Colton Manich out in front, CJ Jeffries right there with him, a pair of Schenko Racing rides. They're at the front of the field as Killingback back in third. He's going to try to hold on and hold off Chris Muse here for that third spot, but a big run right there at a corner number 4. Muse will jump up into that third spot to move Chris Muse into third, and he's looking to try to hunt down our race leaders here as Colton Manich still trying to manage this lead, still trying to hold off CJ Jeffries. There's 8 more laps left to go here. Late in this race, things are starting to heat up, especially at the front of the field. Things are going to get very interesting here in a quick hurry, as the 00 trying to hold on and hold off CJ Jeffries here, knowing that if they can get the win, all of our front 3 in the playoffs, they could automatically lock themselves into the next round of our playoffs here with a win at Bristol Motor Speedway. That's exactly what they're trying to do, as here comes Chris Muse with 6 laps left to go. He's got our front 2 drivers. He's already looking to take this race lead away from Colton Manich. Makes quick work down low on the 19 and quick work on the 00 as we get a new race leader here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Chris Muse late in this race takes that race lead away. CJ Jeffries back up into second as he works himself around the 00 Colton Manich. Chris Muse down across the line, going to click another lap off here as 4 more laps left to go, and the battle of the front of the field, it is not done yet. CJ Jeffries looking to try to go after this 99 of Chris Muse. Muse has a little bit of lap traffic here in front of him. He's got to hit it right. He's got to make sure he keeps himself out of trouble with some of these lap cars, and he's going to get a little bit tight there down the back straightaway. Had to roll out of the throttle. That brings the 19 of CJ Jeffries right there to his back bumper, down across the line, side by side. CJ Jeffries drives it down deep here into corner number 1, and out of corner number 2, they come together. Into the wall goes the 99, into the wall goes the 19. Oh baby, it's on like Donkey Kong as the white flag has been displayed. One more time around here for CJ Jeffries. Can he hang on and hold off the 99 of Chris Muse? Muse looking to try to figure a way back up and around this 19, but out of 3 and out of corner number 4, it's CJ Jeffries picking up the checkered flag here in this one. What a run and what a race that these drivers put on for us late in this one. Wowzers. These guys put on a heck of a show as CJ Jeffries and Chris Muse duke it out. They go to battle in those closing laps. And it's CJ Jeffries who's able to pick up the win. Chris Muse in second, and Colton Manage going to come home in position number 3 in our OutCast Racing League. Playoff race opener here this evening from Bristol Motor Speedway. CJ Jeffries going to get it done and pick up the win here. Woo! Man, oh man, oh man, what a run, what a race that was right there. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you guys like that racing action, make sure you hit the like button, hit the share button, hit that follow and subscribe button. Make sure you turn those bell notifications on. That way you never miss it when we go live here on PeaceMaker Gaming, as we got another huge series getting started here in just a little bit. Probably about an hour from now, we'll be live again with our next broadcast, but we still got time to pull in our top 3 drivers here on the evening as they're waiting patiently down here. We're going to pull them in to the broadcast booth. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, our race winner, CJ Jeffries. Hey CJ, it's Aaron up here in the PeaceMaker broadcasting booth. To get a copy?
Yeah, I absolutely do.
CJ, man, what a run, what a race here for you. We saw you get tied up in a couple things throughout this race. Pretty much everybody did have a little contact here and there, as Bristol means a lot of bumping and banging, and late in this race we saw some bumping and banging as Chris Muse was able to make quick work of you and your teammate Colton Manage there. He works the inside, drives right around the both of you. We thought it was over. We thought Muse was going to be able to drive away and keep you guys at bay, but then he kind of got into some lap traffic right there. Had to roll out of the throttle, which opened the door up once again for you. As you throw it in down low, you're able to make it stick, and a little contact between you and the 99, just battling hard for this win here this evening. Unfortunately, you both get up into the outside fence. A little bit of damage for both of you, but it was enough for you to be able to hold on to this race lead and park yourself up in victory lane here at Bristol Motor Speedway in our opening race of the OutCast Racing League playoffs. Man, take us, through some of those final laps. What was going through your mind when you saw that 99 rider, Chris Muse, get around you and then having to try to hunt him down and figure out a way to steal this win away from that 99?
Honestly, I thought the race was over. I was so focused on setting up Colton so that way when I passed him, there wasn't going to be enough time for him to, make a move back. And then this silver bullet came by us like out of nowhere. He's just been so good at saving his tires this season. So he was just playing his game, and it was going to work for him. I did catch a break with the lap traffic, and once I was able to get around Colton, dude, I started shifting into fourth. I started doing whatever I had to do just to get back to him, and then I saw the lap traffic, and I had to shoot my shot there. I don't know what the contact looked like, but I can tell you that my right front was completely broken. And I saw him get into the wall a few more times after that. But yeah, this race was just crazy. From the start, I just was killing my right front and just getting passed by everybody. Stage 2 was completely opposite. Then I got taken out, come back through the field after a pit road penalty. So it was a crazy race. I can't believe I was able to pull this off, honestly. Yeah, just awesome night.
Absolutely amazing night, an amazing way to get this series underway as you park the 19 ride up here in victory lane. CJ, who would you like to thank for such a great run and great drive here this evening, man, after that late race pass for the lead and a lot of fun out there on the racetrack?
Honestly, just all the competitors. For the most part, I had a good time with all of them. Somehow I ended up attached to Tony's trailer hitch again this week. Yourself for putting on an awesome broadcast. I can't wait to go back and watch it. Um, my mom. Hopefully she watched. She's missed my last 2 wins, so hopefully
She was watching. She was watching.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Love you, Mom. And the friends that tuned in to watch, Colby, Kevin, and just everybody. Honestly, it was super cool. Colton, he was a huge help all race. We were able to just kind of relay information back and forth. And Chris, honestly, he's so fun to race around now that he's kind of gotten to that level where he's not only got racecraft, but he's got just all around race techniques, tire saving, just everything. So I mean, I just had a blast with all of them. So thanks to all those guys, to the admins yourself, just everybody.
Beauty. Well, CJ, a great run and a great win here, as that will punch your ticket into the next round of the playoffs as well. So going into this next race that you got a little bit of a cushion. You don't have to really push yourself too hard. Maybe just work on some stage wins. Maybe try to work yourself, maybe another race win and gaining all those extra points to help lead you towards our final 8 here in a few short weeks.
Yeah, honestly, I think all of us are going to be racing David Duran Jr. I think that's going to be the big competition. But I think if we can just put together smart races, we can absolutely beat him come time for Daytona or Talladega or whatever the last race of the season is.
Absolutely. Well, we look forward to seeing how it all plays out. CJ, congratulations on the race win here at Bristol, and we can't wait to see you back out there on the racetrack next Sunday and see what you got in store for us in that one.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
You as well.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner, CJ Jeffries. And CJ gets the job done, parks himself up in the victory lane. Kevy says, yes, sir, let's go. CJ cheering on Mr. CJ Jeffries here this evening, our race winner. Huge congratulations to him. Huge congratulations to all of our drivers as we'll get ready to pull in our second place finisher. The opposite side here of that contact, the 99 of Chris Muse waiting patiently here. Let's pull Muse up into the broadcast booth. Hey, Chris, it's Aaron up here in the PeaceMaker broadcasting booth. To get a copy?
Yep.
Chris, man, a great run, a great race here for you. Probably the only driver to really stay out of damage here throughout the evening, as you kept that 99 ride pretty clean here all evening long. Not really pushing it too hard, keeping yourself out of trouble, saving all your equipment for late in this race. And all of a sudden, here you come, a silver bullet down through this racetrack, and you make quick work going around Colton Manich and CJ Jeffries late in this race. And when you made that pass, we thought you were gone. We thought this race was over and that you were going to end up in victory lane here for back-to-back weeks. Unfortunately, a little bit of lap traffic. You had to roll out of the throttle. It allowed CJ Jeffries to get right back to you. He gets the open door down low, and then out of corner number 4, just unfortunately some hard contact there between yourself and CJ as he was trying to clear you. You were trying to stay there to his right quarter panel. Unfortunately, just didn't quite work out for either of you as you guys get up into the outside fence, and pretty heavy damage for you and the 19. What was going through your mind there at that point, knowing that you almost had this win in the bag, and then the late race caution or late race contact there that unfortunately took you out of contention of the win here in this one.
Oh, that late. Yeah, that was tough there at the end. My wheel was at about 3 o'clock, and I was trying to just limp it around to, at least take a second or a third. Yeah, I just, like you said, I saved my stuff again, tried to save my car for the end, and save the tires, tried to get a little run when everyone was getting tight, and it worked out until I got that, caught up in that traffic. And unfortunately, exactly what you said, it opened the door back for CJ.
Absolutely, and then unfortunately the contact that happens, and we saw you trying to battle back there. We thought you still had the pace, just obviously, the steering so catawampus in the 99 right after the contact with the outside fence. You had the straightaway speed where you could really close the gap and get right back to him. Just unfortunately couldn't carry that momentum through the corners. We saw you bouncing it off the walls a couple more times there on those couple of closing laps, just trying to carry that momentum and try to carry that speed, and unfortunately just didn't quite work out for you here in this one, but you got to be pretty happy still with the performance, knowing that you were right there. You had a chance, an opportunity of picking up the win here. You played all the strategy and all your cards right here to put yourself up onto the podium in position number 2.
Oh yeah. Right at the end there, like you were saying, when I made the pass on Colt and CJ, I was charging to the front, and when I made that pass, I overheated the tires, so I really needed a clean getaway from that point on. So when that traffic came, my car was struggling to turn at that point after I had made that pass. So
Absolutely. Well, Chris, you're able to come home in position number 2, able to gain quite a few points here on your hunt for this championship here in summer of 2024, and having the big points lead. We saw you pick up that regular season championship a couple weeks ago. We saw you pick up the win, so you earned yourself a lot of extra playoff points, and having that playoff lead coming in to this race, you're able to use some of those points to your advantage and a solid second place run to punch yourself, a little bit closer to that round of 12 here. How you feeling about points wise going into this next race, knowing that it's going to be the first cutoff race?
I'm pretty good. I don't think we have to, I don't think I have to worry too much. I can just go out and run the track, and it doesn't seem like I'm in any imminent danger to getting knocked out at least this round.
Beauty. Well, we look forward to seeing how that all plays out as we head to Auto Club next weekend. But Chris, a great run and a great drive here for yourself. Who would you like to thank for such a great performance?
So this July 11th was me and my girlfriend's 16-year anniversary. So again, I'd like to thank her. She let me race today, even though it's kind of our anniversary weekend. But we had a fun week and did a bunch of stuff, and I want to thank the Garlands and Anthony and you for putting it on, and everyone for showing up every week.
Absolutely, brother. Well, Chris, a great run, a great drive. Congratulations on the second place finish here this evening. We can't wait to see you guys back out onto the racetrack at Auto Club in a week from now, and maybe we'll see you right back up here in the broadcast booth, maybe one spot better, and back up in victory lane yourself.
Yep, hopefully. I'm not really a huge Auto Club guy, but gotta get some practice in and see what I can do.
Beauty. Well, we look forward to seeing how it all unfolds for you, Chris. Congrats again on the second place run here this evening.
Thanks.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there for our second place finisher, the number 99 of Chris Muse. As Muse comes home in position number 2, we'll get ready to pull in our third place finisher, the 00, Colton Manich. Hey, Colton, it's Aaron up here in the PeaceMaker Broadcasting booth. Take a copy?
Yeah, man, I gotcha.
Colton, man, a great run and a great drive here for you in this one. Oh, so close to tasting victory here again in the OutCast Racing League. Unfortunately, a couple spots shy and about 10 laps shy of putting yourself into victory lane. Take us back through this race. We saw a lot of, back and forth, a lot of different pitch strategies, and then there late in the race, we saw you and your teammate 1 and 2, CJ, trying to size you up. You got to know he's lurking there and trying to figure out a way to get around you and trying to time it right. And all of a sudden, Chris Muse comes out of nowhere, and that makes CJ have to push that subject, get around you, and then you see the two of them battle it out, duke it out there in front of you in those closing laps as you cruise around in that third position.
Man, is it bad to say that I was hoping that they were going to wipe each other out? No, kidding. No, it was a heck of a race. It was a lot of fun, man. We played some pretty decent strategy, I thought, throughout the whole thing, just to keep us up front. Because as we saw quickly, once CJ got the penalty, and he was in the back, got caught up in something. So, the big thing there was just staying on top of the strategy, making sure that we made all the right calls, which I think that we did throughout the race, and was there at the end. But the problem was there when that restart. David was definitely playing some restart games. I was watching what he was doing in his lane selection, trying to pin me behind the guys with old tires, which, that's what he needed to do to try to win because he knew that we were coming on fresh ones. So, unfortunately, I just spent a little bit too much time there messing around with Corey, trying to get by him clean. And when I did, I just burned up my right front. So I knew I knew that the last probably 10, 12 laps was going to be tough because of how much I was scrubbing the right front, and sure enough, there, I don't know what it was, like 8, 10 to go, something like that. It just started to go, and then the other ones were able to get by me. And yeah, came home third.
Absolutely, bring it home in that final podium position. A solid run and a solid drive here on the evening. You got a lot of points, a lot of good, finishes here for you as you were trying to work yourself into the next round of the playoffs. So obviously, not able to punch your ticket straight on through like CJ was able to do, but a good point stay here at the racetrack as well, helping you towards making it into that round of 12 and your opportunity here of picking up a championship.
Well, my situation is a little bit unique to some of these other guys because I'm actually not racing for the championship. I'm just here for fun, not in the playoffs or anything like that. So yeah, I'm just here just to have fun. So one of the big things too is these guys, season after season, I've been kind of in some of their shoes where we've run the for the championship, and everybody's always been very respectful for the most part for me and everything like that. So especially when I'm racing around like Chris and CJ and then David and Corey, like the last thing I want to do is wipe either of them out, and risk them losing points and me being responsible for them not making it to the next round. So for me, that race, I didn't have as much to lose for those as those guys did. So at the end, and I saw Chris throw that thing in there, and I said, "Holy crap!" I couldn't believe he got that thing to stick the way that he did. And once he did, I just kept it high and gave CJ plenty of room and let them go duke it out. Because at that point, like I said, for me, I was racing for the win. I got past, and for me, there's nothing else left at that point. Is just to let them do what they need to do and not be responsible for affecting their whole season. So
Absolutely. I didn't even realize that you were in the playoffs. As normally we see you in the playoffs here in the OutCast Racing League. But man, it's still fun to see you out there on the racetrack, having good runs and trying to play that little bit of a playoff spoiler here for some of these other drivers. Maybe taking away some stage points, maybe taking away a win here or there. And I'm sure without a doubt, more runs like you had here this evening, we might see you back up in victory lane before the end of the season. But Colton, a great run, a solid performance here in this one. You parked the double zero ride up in position number 3. Who would you like to thank for such a great run and solid performance here this evening?
No, just a comment real quick. But yeah, that part-time schedule, man, it's been killer. I would love to be up there racing with those guys for a championship, but the part-time schedule is it's what I got to run. So I think I'm only going to be able to maybe make 2, maybe 3 of the remaining races. But no, big thanks. Really, just like I said, everybody at ORL who does what they do for this league. You for broadcasting. Always enjoy, even when I'm not racing, tuning in and watching the guys and enjoying the show. And then obviously my big sponsor, Williamsburg Contracting, gotta give a shout out to them. Huge supporters of myself and what we do. And then Shenko Custom Diecast, Shenko Custom Designs, All Seeing Motorsports, and just my family and friends who support me in doing all this.
Beauty will go on a great run, a great drive here this evening. Hopefully we see you back out there on the racetrack at Auto Club Speedway next weekend, and hopefully we'll see you right back up here in the broadcast booth.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
You too.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there. Sorry, for our third place finisher, Colton Manich coming home there in position number 3. A great run, a great drive there for that double zero machine. Unfortunately, though, that is going to do it for us here this evening. I can't thank you guys enough for tuning in. Everyone coming in with the likes, the comments, the shares, any of the new followers, new subscribers, anyone that came in and showed love here throughout the evening. I appreciate each and every single one of you. Huge shout out again to my boy Bubba coming in with the resubscription over on Twitch, coming in with the 12 months of being a subscriber over there on the Twitch channel. Absolutely insane, my boy. As unfortunately, that will do it for us here this evening. Thank y'all for tuning in, and I'll catch y'all back here in the next one. Peace out for now, baby. Peace out for now, ladies and gentlemen.